Fuck it, we'll do this live. Welcome to Hit or Miss. I'm Night Strike. I am joined by Hawaii Volcano Squad. Uh,
Aloha.
we're doing this from gunchannels.com. So if you'd like to come and join the conversation, or if you'd like to listen and comment, please go to gunchannels.com/hit dash or dash miss. All right, we're going to be talking about a couple topics tonight. We're going to talk some about the Paris attacks, the Syrian refugees, some gun stuff. We're just kind of talk about the broad what's going on in the world right now, as opposed to just trying to go stick with one topic, because that, while it's good to talk about one topic all the time, the problem is sometimes it's not as good to talk about just one topic as it is several. So, what were we going to start with, Hawaii? What did you want to talk about?
Me? Who, me?
Yes, you. Yes, you.
Let's see here. Well, I'm still in trying to figure out whether I should get that CZ527 carbon and 7.62x39 or save my money for something more extravagant.
Do what kind of extravagant are we talking about? Are we talking in like another Tavor so you can dual wield Tavors, or are we talking about like maybe like an M1A?
I don't know. I was
maybe like a SOCOM 2 M1A.
Well, the thing I like about the 7.62 caliber is that I already have 3,000 rounds of it just lying around. And I use it for my AK, so it's like 2 rifles, 1 caliber, 1 for long range, and 1 for close-in social work.
Right. All right. Well, we're going to talk about, I guess we'll just start off talking about the Syrian refugees. HVS has a map of, those are states that don't want refugees, right?
Well, no, those are where they are. That is where they are.
Well, I've seen that there was a list of states that are refusing to house refugees, and
yeah, I think those are the yellow states that are. But before that refusal happened, there's already been people shipped in.
They've already shipped in. They're gonna have to ship them somewhere else.
Well, good luck if the federal government ships them in, getting them out. I mean.
Yeah, it's a mess right there. But
send the state police into the mosques or something. I don't think so. That would be worldwide. That would be bad media.
Well, it's not like the media is good in the first place here in this country, anyways.
No, I mean bad publicity.
Bad publicity, yes, it'd be bad publicity. But yeah, what is your take on the whole Syrian refugees? Should we be taking refugees in? Should we be going and just building temporary houses, there for them, instead of bringing them all the way over to our country and then sending them back? No. What do you think we should be doing?
I don't have all the answers. I mean, believe it or not. So,
can we trust them? Can we trust them to be?
I don't trust anybody. But the thing is, here's the thing. Europeans have this natural reaction because half of Europe was after World War II. Half of Europe was in displaced persons camps after World War II, and everybody's grandfather was in a displaced persons camp, or their grandmother or somebody or their
parents
uncle,
or their uncle or
their grand uncle or whatever it's called.
Everyone's family was affected,
and they were fleeing certain death. And so that's why you were in a displaced persons camp, so you wouldn't get killed. So naturally, when a bunch of refugee camps, refugees show up, in Europe, they think their first instinct is to, we have to help these people, and that's a great instinct to have. But the thing is, okay, these people are not from Europe, and they are the refugees are assaulted with ISIS terrorists. I don't know what the percentage is. I don't think, and there's no way to vet them. People says, "Oh yes, we could vet these people." No, what are you going to go call Syria? There's no records to look up. You can't. It's not like checking there's no NICS checks or something. National Syrian background check. Syrian background check.
Hashtag National Syrian Background Check. Right there.
Yeah, so basically you just call up Hassad the murderer and and ask him, are these people cool? And if he says yes, then you shoot them. And if he says no, then you shoot them. But I mean, I don't know. It's the Mid East you're talking about. These aren't European refugees. They're not from Europe. I would trust European refugees, but I wouldn't trust Syrian refugees who show up in Europe. And
It
I
depends on what part of Europe.
ship them to America. But I want to say the instinct to ship them to America or anywhere, or just making them safe, is a good instinct to have, especially. And I mean, and to want to help is a good instinct to have. That doesn't mean it's the smart thing to do. We can't.
Trump and a few other people have brought this up, that these refugees may be just people that have been displaced. They may just need help and need help.
They're running. They aren't displaced. If by displaced, you mean running for their fucking lives.
Yeah,
a war.
I'm paraphrasing, okay? But yes, they have nowhere to go. They're running because they're afraid of getting killed by ISIS or whatever wicked or Assad's regime.
Or Russian bombers, or
Yeah, these people need a place to stay. I'll grant them that, but there's also the issue that some of those people that are in those refugees could be, bad to say, but they could be hidden terrorists just trying to catch a ride.
ISIS definitely salted that they aren't going to let this opportunity go by the wayside to put in sleeper cells. It's too good of an opportunity.
It's not even sleeper cells. They could just be in disguise, and then once they get in the United States, we're just going to wreak as much havoc as we can.
Well, if they're taking Syrian refugees, they don't really need a disguise. I mean, you don't have to dress up as,
well, you know what I mean,
or something.
But wow, I'd love to see an ISIS operative dressed up as Hillary Clinton. That would be like Halloween or gag material right there, because that's hilarious.
Well, they aren't going to dress up as Barack Obama, so and then they can't afford to dress up as Donald Trump, so.
No, they can't.
But the instinct to want to help these people is the right instinct to have. I'm just not sure it's the smart thing to do, because there's a security risk. I mean, I don't have any problem with helping war refugees. I would want to help war refugees, but because if they're just fleeing certain death, then why wouldn't you want to help them? But knowing that there's gonna be ISIS terrorists mixed in with them, and that realistically we have no way. I mean, the FBI director said there's no way to really vet these people.
Yeah. Dead Horse mentioned in the Hit or Miss chat room. Would you run away from the United States if we were at war, or would you stay and fight for it? Now, if it was in our streets, if it was on American soil, I would take up arms and fight for it, because I love this country. This is, I was brought up being told by my grandfather, whose family fought, all the way back since the Revolution, that this is the greatest country on earth. My grandfather, who's my dad's father, who is the son of Italian immigrants, had told me that this is the greatest country on earth. There is no other country like our country. So if it came down to the point where we were invaded, or one of those refugees, half or even a quarter of those refugees turned out to be insurgents that were going and attacking people, I would stand up and fight to protect this country. Because if we're just going to let these people in, and this is bad to say, but not screen them to make sure that they're, I guess, what's the right words for this?
Democrats?
No, not Democrats. No, if these refugees are not, I guess, mentally sound, because I guess if you're an insurgent, you have something wrong with you
Well,
mentally.
they can't be in. You're talking about terrorists, not insurgents. Insurgents would be like if you're fighting for the country that you're in because
Right,
you're
right. Okay,
born there.
okay. You're right. Bad choice of words. Okay, okay. Terrorists. If these people that are in these refugees are terrorists and they're attacking our country, I would, stand up and fight. Because Lord knows that the police aren't going to do anything. Lord knows that our military will take forever to do anything, just like they always do. And I'm not saying that those facets are bad. I'm just saying that, you know, how long does it take for cops to respond normally? Normally, cops respond anywhere between half an hour to 2 or 3 hours, depending on where you're at and what type of situation it is.
Yeah,
And it's just the sad truth because we don't have enough law enforcement, and I know we don't have enough military strength in our country
but we have
to
more than
protect our
enough.
entire country.
We have more than enough lawyers. I tell you that.
We have more than enough lawyers, but that's a point where we have too many Indians, not enough chiefs.
Indians? No.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Yeah, that's what it is. Excuse me. I'm getting my sayings all mixed up today. It's a bad day. Anyways, but yeah, and while we should help people that need it, but Dead Horse did bring up a point. Why do we need to help people who won't fight to save their own country?
Well, I don't think they can effectively fight to save their own country. The Syrian government's dropping bombs on civilian areas. ISIS is killing everybody that, it doesn't subscribe to their particular view of Islam and, automatically executing anybody, any other religions and blowing
Yeah.
up everything. And there's no food, there's no anything. So there's no future there. So there's
Well, shouldn't we
Oh,
be dropping
and by
supplies for
future
them
I mean
instead?
by future I mean like next week. There's like no next week. You know, uh, when
and
they're
and
dropping.
we got to worry about ISIL too.
Well, that's ISIS, ISIL.
uh,
Well,
I,
I
Islamic
think we should
State
call him Dash. That's the proper name.
dash, yeah.
I
Dash
thought
or
there were two
Dash, whatever.
different groups.
No, they're
No,
not. Dash and
Islamic
ISIS are the same.
State in the Levant. Levant. That's Levant means like most of the Middle East: Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Israel, Iraq, Egypt. All that's the Levant. It's like a biblical term. So
So are we like talking about should we have refugees over here?
Well, we're just talking about the refugees in general right now. I don't think we're saying that we shouldn't house refugees. We should do all we can to help, but we, as a country, we can only help people so much to the point where we should stop helping people outside of our country and start helping the people in our own country. And I know that's bad to say, but we've got how many millions of Americans out of work that need help, yet we're going to go and help 250,000, Syrian citizens that don't want to be in their country because they don't want to fight for it or they want to run away from all the violence.
But
well,
what I don't understand is why do they have to come here? We can. They already made that said that they're gonna like make safe zones for them that we can then send supplies and help them instead of sending them to here. Because some Syrians they don't want to leave their country. They want to stay there, but they want to be safe. So why don't we just create safe zones there? Of course, it's not going to be
because
100%
it's
safe.
because it's so the Syria is so fractionalized. I mean, Turkey is bombing the only effective fighting force that's not run by terrorists. They're bombing the Kurds because they don't like the Kurds, and they've
And the
had
Kurds are the only ones in Iraq fighting ISIS.
effective. Well, ISIS. I mean, well, yeah, Kurds are the only ones fighting ISIS, but the problem is Assad fractured. He threw a rock into the mirror and it broke. Basically, and there's a lot of little pieces of glass on the ground, and you know, all the king's horses and all the king men aren't going to put Syria back together again.
Hey, Night Strike, I want to correct you. It's pronounced douche.
It's pronounced douche. All right. All right. Thank you, Dead Horse. I don't know what I could have done, what I would have done without you, man. Thank you.
Which douche are
So
we talking about?
We're talking about ISIS.
Oh,
So yeah, the plan to make safe zones is a good one instead of sending them over here, because if you think about it, there are currently 3 million homeless people in America, and if we can't even feed them and take care of them and our own, how are we going to be able to start getting more and more people
And
in this
how
country?
are we going to help 250,000 refugees if we can't help
Yeah,
3 million people in our own country?
exactly.
It's a good point, but at the same time, people will say, well, we should really help these Syrian refugees. And I'm
Okay,
just
We
like,
should we
what?
should help them by making safe zones for them. I mean, Africa does this, and they don't have they. I mean, of course they're gonna have problems, but they don't have. But they're still willing to stay in their country. I'm not saying safe
CIA.
zones are the best way to go, but they're a lot better than. So we don't have any big risk issues. We can send them food, supplies, Red Cross, but why do they
Right,
need to be here?
right.
okay. One thing, Tony, you said that we have 3 million, homeless people here that we can't take care of. Well, we are not a communist country. It's not up to the government or to the people to take care of them. Yeah, maybe we should help provide opportunities to them so they can take care of themselves. But it is not up to the people or the government to fucking take care of them. I mean, they are not
But
Well,
babies. They do not
I
have.
But
think
Syrians, they
we're not
already
talking.
said they don't want to leave their country. So what's the point of taking them and put them in our country if they don't want to leave? They just want to feel safe. That's why they want to come here. But what if we can help them and a little bit, be safe, not 100%, but at least let's say 90%. We can help them not only stay in their country, but we can also help them. So
How are
why
you
can't
going
we
to
do
do
that?
that? That safe zone thing will never happen.
It's already working in Africa. How is that not working?
Syria
How come
is
that
not
won't work in
Africa
Syria?
because there's too many people with too many guns and too many aircraft bombing and killing each other, and everybody wants each other dead. It's like, perfect storm of you can't build a
And
house of cards in a hurricane. All the cards will just blow away. I mean, it's too
you said they want to
fractionalized.
kill each other. Why won't they do something to?
I think
Okay,
the right
they
thing to
can.
do
They're
is encourage the
dropping.
process.
They're
Give them
shooting
all AKs and
mortars.
send them back. Give them all AKs and send them back.
Yeah, right.
They're shooting mortars into like our military areas. So do you really think if we just put up a fence with some barbed wire, that's a safe zone? I
Why don't
No,
we
it's
mean,
why
not.
don't we let them police themselves? If you want to be safe, protect yourself, and we'll help you protect yourself.
Have you ever been to the Middle East? It's
No, not really, but I really wouldn't want to.
oh that yeah, you
Have you
wouldn't
ever
want.
been anywhere outside of the United States?
Yeah, I've been to Vietnam.
Uh, well, it's a lot nicer now than it used to be during the war because people aren't trying to kill all the Americans. So, but
Right. They'd rather take your money now instead of kill you.
hey, I got a Rush 24 bag, and that's made in Vietnam. And I'm believe me, peace is better than war.
I got a
Uh,
bunch of shirts made in Vietnam. They're the next China sweatshop.
yeah, I mean, I think 511 gets a lot of stuff made in Vietnam, and they make great stuff there, so I don't have a problem with it.
All right, back on topic though.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
anyways, if like yeah, back on topic. If these refugees said they don't want to leave Syria, but they want to be safe, why would we want to take them and put them in America where they don't want to be? I mean, they want to be here because of safety, but if we can put safety for them there, we can keep them there.
yeah. But the problem is getting them out of harm's way and fighting. That's the problem. And I don't think that we can viably do that without Russians shelling them, thinking they're Syrian rebels fighting Assad, or Turkey going after them because thinking they're Kurds. You know,
Well, you think putting them in America will make them safer?
Hey, the governor of Hawaii wants to accept Syrian refugees.
put them on that one island where they don't like white people. That'll really throw a loop for them.
Well,
You know, yeah. Hawaii mentioned there's one of the smaller islands in Hawaii that doesn't like white people, and they have gangs that attack people. So put a bunch of Syrian refugees on that island
don't
in
say that
Hawaii.
on air, motherfucker.
And think
you.
about it. Even if we do send them to the island, we're still gonna have to send them food, Red Cross and stuff. While when we could have just do that right now.
And guys, I'm only kidding.
Okay, so what you do is you
No, but I'm just saying that
take
would
a
be like
B-52 and just drop Red Cross packages, onto everybody from 30,000 feet. So when it hits them, that'll take them out. But we can say we're being humanitarian. So
Yeah, right. Well, I don't think
maybe
there's
we
any
should put in
real
some of those
fix for
heavy
this
biscuits.
because of these refugees. Though there are like 26 or 30.
What's that? I think did Night Strike just fade out?
I don't know.
Anonymous is hacking them.
Oh Jesus.
It's a
Oh yeah,
Syrian
like I said.
internet army. It's a Syrian internet army.
Oh crap. But like I said, what's the point of taking them out if they don't want to leave?
Well, the safe zone for all the Syrians is in Europe. That's where they could get to, if they were. And the thing is, what's going to happen is once they get the European documents, they will fly
they
to
even
Mexico
said,
and pay the cartel to sneak them across the border.
and the Syrian people even said that, oh, once this thing has been dealt with, if we're in America, we're gonna go back anyways, which is gonna cost us even more money and more resources to fly them back when they could have just stayed there, or go maybe to a neighboring country like Europe.
Lebanon isn't all that much better, but no, Lebanon is stocked up to the brim.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I had to switch to my webcam mic.
Lebanon has
is
already
stocked
taken in 160,000.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
than Lebanon can. I mean, everybody has a Lebanese tenant. It's like if in Lebanon, it's like everybody's, and I mean everybody, had like a family of Syrians in their extra room. So, I mean,
well,
And Turkey took in like 1.2 million so far, and that's just a conservative estimate that they know about. They think the number's closer to 2 million. So it's not like they haven't already gone a lot of fucking places.
and the thing is, it's kind of America's fault because George Bush, threw the Republican Guard out of the army, which was all Sunnis, and those are the people who are the military arm of ISIS. So, this is, George Bush.
I think it's
not
more
knowing
Obama's fault
what
for
he's
pulling
doing.
out of Iraq way too early when we should have stayed.
Yeah, well, Obama screwed up too, so it's both of their fault. But Obama
We don't know
wouldn't
that
have
for
to do
sure.
that.
We're not 100% about that.
No, we're
If
only
we had
speculating.
10,000
100%.
troops, those 10,000 troops were keeping the Sunnis and the Shias in Iraq from fighting each other. And as soon as they left, they started fighting each other. We were the like referee, in between the Sunnis and the Shias. And as soon as we bailed, then all bets were off, and the
Start
Sunnis
pulling
got
out
shafted.
chainsaws and stuff.
Yeah, it was like the zombie
Right.
apocalypse for Sunnis versus Shias.
So when we were there and they were fighting each other, that was a fair fight. But when they leave, it's all out.
No, we
I'm
were,
pretty sure they were still fighting even when we were there.
Yeah, but it had limit. It was like you can consider those 10,000 troops as the moderators. It kept things from getting out of hand like it is now. So now but
Remember,
all
nothing's forever.
ISIS is all Sunnis. It's all and it's financed by the Sunni
Right.
people in all the Arab Emirates and
All the
and
Arab
Saudi
countries.
Arabia. Not all of them, the Sunni ones.
Just the Sunni ones. Well, yeah, but you have to realize that there's no real good answer to this. We can't say really what the best solution is
like
for the
who
refugees.
is not in Syria that doesn't want to kill each other? You've got it's like
in the Middle East, not just Syria.
well, you got the Persians and the Arabs who want to fight each other because Persians don't like Arabs and Arabs don't like Persians. You got the Sunnis and the Shias who don't want to have been fighting with each other for over 1,000 years, and
many of the Arabs, the Persians, and the Jews that don't like
the
each
Jews,
other.
and then the Russians came in, and so it's like if you just bomb randomly, you're probably going to hit somebody who wants to kill you. So
Technically, if you want to blame someone and someone who's direct result of the clusterfuck in the Middle East,
it's Yankee Marshall's fault.
Well, Hawaii believes that it's Yankee.
What do you do?
But it's not Yankee's fault. It goes a little before he was there. I would have to say that all of this fallout in the Middle East is a direct result of the Soviet Union going and fucking up Afghanistan back in the 70s, 80s. It's the Soviet Union's fault originally. So technically, we should blame Russia, if anyone.
Well, you could blame Britain for intervening.
Oh, look, man, that was in the past. We can play the blame game. It's already happened. We can't do anything about it. Okay, we got to look at right now, not what we lived in the past.
We just have to get off our asses and do it. You're taking the stance that it's already happened. We can't do anything because it happened.
Think about it like this: if you want to bomb Syria back to the Stone Age, it would be bringing them forward in time. So.
Wow.
But
wait.
I just want to understand this. Why are there so many refugees? Is like everybody trying to leave that country?
Yes.
Wouldn't you?
Well, if I'm America and got invaded, would I want to leave America? No.
Well, let's say you're living in.
If I was a Syrian civilian and I had the power to do something, and would I run away from my country that I love? No, I would stay there and fight.
Well, your choice
but these
is
people
either
aren't
join
fighting,
ISIS,
which is
or you either have to join the terrorists or the government. You know
what? I'll join the terrorists, and then right when they think I'm all goody two shoe, I'm a poof, they're gone. Get them from the inside. Why can't they do that?
It's a suicide mission. And that's only taking one small, 1%. You'd be taking the 1%ers. That doesn't help. That's only trying to put a Band-Aid on a severed limb. It didn't work.
Well, we need to find a bigger Band-Aid then.
When you crack an egg shell, do you think you could tape it back together again? It's not an easy thing to do.
It's not. No, it's not an easy fix, but it's still not impossible.
I got some breaking ISIS news. France flight leaving from Los Angeles to France just landed here in Salt Lake City, Utah, due to bomb threats, I guess, from ISIS, saying that the plane was going to blow up or something like that. And then apparently another one leaving from, I guess, maybe Virginia. I'm not sure if it was leaving Virginia or landed in Virginia, but another one, it was diverted to Nova Scotia, and it was on its way to France over suspected bombing threats from ISIS.
So some idiot is phoning in bomb threats.
Well, apparently that they said that they were credible because I guess they came right out of Syria, or they came right from ISIS.
Well, Syria has an internet army, too. I mean,
yeah.
For all you know, the government could have done it,
Well, it's really, really hard to pin it down.
It's just too big of a mess for anybody to fix. I mean, it's not something, the only way to make it safe would be to just nuke it, turn it into a parking lot, and then send everybody back that left. So I mean,
yes,
and that is out of the question. So
I hear that they don't like ISIS. They don't hurt women. So what if we just got a whole bunch of women Syrian women?
Wait, did you just say they don't hurt women?
They don't. No, they don't like to hurt women.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? How much have you read about ISIS? No.
At least it was like a tribal. The video I was watching was some kind of they're split up in tribes.
Pro-ISIS propaganda? Is that what you were watching? That's pro-ISIS?
No, it's not pro-ISIS. I'm saying tribes. There's different tribes within not in ISIS but in Syria. I'm not talking about ISIS right now. I'm talking about the Syrian tribes.
Okay, well that's Syria. We're talking about the broader picture here. But we're gonna move on away from this topic because I think we've kind of jumped everywhere. I'd like to talk about the Paris attacks now. We had they had those Paris attacks, and or attack. I don't know if it was multiple or if it was just one. I haven't gotten the full story on that. But Donald Trump made a thing. He made a statement saying that if they had been able to carry guns, the damage would have been less than what it was. And while that's a bad way of saying it after the fact, but he does have some. I'm not going to say validity. He does have a good point that the fact that in Europe you're not allowed to own a gun. You're not allowed, or you are allowed to own a gun. You're not allowed to use it for self-defense. You're not allowed to carry it anywhere unless you're going to the range or hunting. Period. It's very tight-fisted, unlike here in the United States where
they just allow you to shoot anybody you want any old day, whenever somebody pisses you off.
No, that's not how it is here in the United States.
Well, you know what? Unless you're a really good profiler or a mind reader, you're not gonna know who is a suicide bomber. So really, a gun's not gonna help you unless you know who it is.
No, but there were also people shooting people as well. There
were 2 people with guns, and 7 of them had bombs.
Yeah.
So okay, we shoot that one guy with guns. That's gonna stop him. But how are we gonna stop the ones with bombs that did? The bombers were the suicide bombers were the ones that did more damage than the guys with the guns.
True, but the guys with the guns still did damage, and might have been able to prevent the damage.
They were taken out. They were taken out easily. But the bombers, they killed more people than the gunmen's. And I'm pretty sure one of the gunmen's had a suicide bomb, so he even did even more damage than both of them.
Sounds like
depending on where he was.
We need our bomb-sniffing dogs outside of every rock concert. So we need to stop training them to sniff for marijuana and start training them to sniff for explosives.
Which is kind of funny. How did they not? So they didn't have sniffing bomb sniffing dogs
outside the rock concert or the football stadium? I guess not.
Like the whole place in general. Like we have police here that goes around with canines all day.
It was just basically a big club. It wasn't like in a stadium or some shit. The rock concert happened in basically a big nightclub. That's all it was. It wasn't like some huge stadium event. But inside those big clubs, they can easily still fit 500 people. But it's not like they have police standing outside with dogs and stuff like they do at your, huge rock concerts. Like if you're gonna go see Metallica at your local football stadium, it's not like that.
It was a smaller venue.
Yeah, a much smaller venue.
Well, it's not the size of the venue; it's just how much security they decided to put in. I mean, I got off of a cruise ship once, and when I took my Mexican Riviera cruise, and the taxi drivers are required to drop you off in front of this jewelry store. I mean, they'll get fined for like $1,000 if they don't drop all the tourists off in front of this jewelry store. So in order to get to the beach, you have to walk through the jewelry store, and there's this guy right that's in the closet by the entrance with a submachine gun. So I was like walking by they try and keep the door closed most of the time, but he was just, I guess, taking a bathroom break, and he's walking back right across with a submachine gun. It's like, taxi driver saying, "I'm sorry, but I have to drop you off right here, or they'll give me a very expensive ticket." So he can't just, if you say, "Take me to the beach," and then they'll be like, "I can't do that," So it was just lack of security, and
Well, they don't allow firearms, right? So why don't they just get a whole bunch of dogs and train them instead of having firearms? You have a whole bunch of dogs. But anyways, in the end, do they have enough dogs in their country to sniff bombs and different other things like drugs and all that stuff?
Probably
so
not.
France, well.
I mean, what do they have poodles running around with sniffing bombs and stuff?
No, normally you'd use a German Shepherd.
I heard they hate dogs.
Are you kidding? No, but it's like, to show you what the problem is. It's like when the Concorde crashed a long time ago, in flying from France to Germany or something. All the French people who said, "Oh, don't worry, it was only a bunch of Germans." So because they remember World War I, so no matter where you go, they wouldn't have German shepherds everywhere in France. There would be some French dog. No matter how, but I don't know what dogs have the best olfactory senses. There's a guy on a YouTube channel that has actually a professional dog training. That's his thing. He trains dogs for the military and police. He could train them to be defense dogs, train them to be, drug sniffing dogs or explosive sniffing dogs, and he does that professionally. And I thought his YouTube channel was very interesting, but I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
Let's say they do replace their firearms with dogs sniffing for bad stuff. What would cost more, training a dog or giving someone a firearm to protect themselves?
Training dogs would cost more.
Training dogs, because the dog is a living being. You have to feed it continually.
Exactly. So why are we even suggesting getting them dogs?
Because
you mentioned
just give them their firearms,
Because the dogs could sniff out the bombs, and we're talking about bombs, not firearms.
Yeah, but the ones that are trained for do they train for specific things, or can they train for multiple things to sniff out?
You usually train them for one thing. I mean, you don't want to.
So you're gonna have like one dog for everything. Like I mean, they need to train a dog for one of everything if they want to be precise. Unless they want to spend a whole bunch of money on a different dog to train for something different.
Yeah, you need dogs for sniffing and dogs for defense. Those are two different skill sets for a dog. You can't. It's
that
not
too.
like you don't train like ninja dogs. You train.
Well, you don't. I always train ninja dogs. I can't train any dogs without them being ninjas. Okay. Same thing with cats. All my cats are ninja cats.
So instead of taking refugees from Europe, we just need to send them dogs.
Yeah, we do have a lot of dogs here, and dog pounds. Keep putting them down, so that would be good to send them dogs.
But you need good trainers.
But there would be so many, dude. There'd be like 5 dogs at one venue, one for each specific job.
Well, I don't think you need dogs for you don't need like the attack dogs for
Okay, no attack dogs. Those but there's still 4 left.
Sniff out bombs, in the U.S. Army. They train them and it's those guys on YouTube that it's private contractors that train the dogs.
Yeah. And we have dolphins that take out mines.
We got to deal with that Russian nuclear torpedo thing. I mean, shit. We haven't talked about that yet, so.
Wait. Russian nuclear torpedo? What's that? Is that something new that just came out, or what?
A 100 megaton torpedo, not just some little nuclear. Like it's made to pretty much destroy entire coastlines and shit.
Yeah, and since I live on a coastline, that kind of got my attention.
Right. Well,
they're not suggesting using it, are they?
It's the Russians.
They're going to build it for. They put a sketch on TV to scare everybody, and it did. So.
Well, it got leaked on the TV.
You believe that? Do you actually believe that? This is Russia we're talking about here.
Well, apparently they came out. Someone in his cabinet, Putin's cabinet, came out after that was leaked and said that they've already been making design changes to the torpedo ever since.
Yeah.
The classified information got leaked.
Oh, great.
Oh, well, it's out. It's out.
I don't think anything happens on Russian TV without...
And next they'll be saying they came up with a new submarine that runs off of a nuclear reactor and uses a Caterpillar silent engine, and they'll be calling it the Red October.
How do you know this?
We all saw that movie, okay? And if you haven't seen that movie, it's called Hunt for the Red October.
That is a great documentary. So
I knew the mixer of that film, Don Bassman.
I met Tom Clancy once.
I met Jack Ryan once.
Oh my!
The fictional character. Well, at least I read Red Storm Rising. So.
All right, but yeah, these attacks, they're bad, and I'm paraphrasing and generalizing, and I know that's not what people want to hear, but I've never experienced such a situation, and I hope I never have to. But the thing is, these situations and these things happening are the result of disarming, are in part the result of disarming the population. So, yeah, it's their fault for disarming the people, but at the same time, you guys are right on some points. How do you distinguish a terrorist from a normal person? That is a valid point. At the same time,
torpedo. Here's a torpedo.
Remember, you said you can't prevent crime.
You can't prevent crime, but you can minimize damage.
So I screen shared the Russian torpedo design that was leaked on Russian television.
Awesome nuclear torpedoes. The things we don't need.
Keep in mind that this torpedo is 250 feet long, and it can travel at 100 knots in the water. So it's not like
How many miles per hour?
Can I build one?
No,
I have no idea what the conversion is. I just know it's really fucking fast for being inside water.
Okay, that's 115 miles per hour, so that's pretty fast.
That's really fast in water. And so apparently it's like, none of our countermeasures can like counter it. Like we don't have anything fast enough to intercept it. And it's 250 feet long and 100 megatons. Like,
and
I mean,
it's underwater.
Why would you make something like that? What
Why
possible
are
application?
why is human beings, why are we still trying to destroy Earth?
Well, think about this. Like, think about a big naval yard or dock or something like that. I mean, it would completely take out all those ships in that entire.
But the thing is, we've realized, we've come to the point where we can't use nuclear weapons anymore. The moment you use a nuclear weapon, you're going to cause World War III, and you're going to have mutually assured destruction. It's not going to be, oh, we used a nuke on this one guy, and they folded, and things are going to be hunky-dory. No, one country did that once, the United States of America, and we've never used a nuke on another enemy since, because everyone hates what happens after you use a nuclear warhead. But apparently the Russians didn't get the fucking memo.
Neither did Iran,
you know what? One
did the Saudis, neither did Pakistan, neither did India, neither did Israel, neither did North Korea.
You know what? They can, at one point they're going to build something so big, they know it's going to destroy them in the process when they attack us with it, or attack any nation with it.
Yeah, wow. It's going to be bad. It is going to be bad if anyone ever uses a nuke in a war or in a conflict again, because it's going to spark in some small part or in some larger part, it's going to spark another world war at least. And it may spark the end of the Earth as we know it, because everything's going to be glassed.
I'm getting to back where we started this chat. I think I'm gonna go buy that CZ now since you brought up the end of the world.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys.
Get it while you're able to get it, And I'm not I'm not trying to incite fear. I'm not trying to say, be afraid because war's coming. No.
We're trying to incite firearms purchases.
We're trying to, yes, because I am totally a CZ representative. I'm a representative. I'm a distributor of CZ, Colt, Car. What else?
You really want me to buy that carbon, don't you?
No, I'm not a distributor, and I do not support any of those companies because I don't get any money or any samples or deals or anything from them. So buy whatever you want. I don't care. But anyways, as I was saying, we're not here to incite fear. We're just here to tell you what might happen if someone does something. And we're not experts. We're telling you our opinion and views.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't feel like waiting for another Earth to be rebuilt, and us coming from fish evolution and a little pod and growing back to human beings again. I don't feel like I don't want to wait for that.
I don't think it was fish, but something down there. I don't really believe in that.
Frog, fish, some kind of organism. I don't feel like that. That's too wrong.
That's a philosophical or religious area. We're not getting into it.
But the United States wants to. I mean, all of our the submarines need to be updated because they're past the end of their lifespan. All our boomers, all the submarines that carry the submarine missile part of the triad, and it will cost a small fortune. It's not in the budget. I mean, by small fortune, I mean like $100 billion. or a trillion. I mean, just tons and tons of money because all to replace every strategic missile submarine in the United States Navy because they're old uh, and out of date, you know, and they already have problems on their missions now because the subs are some of the systems are breaking down, and they have to use backup systems and stuff because the subs are just very old, with all I mean the Polaris missile was what 1960 something, President Kennedy.
Right. All right. I'm gonna go, and we're gonna go on a lighter topic. World War, Cold War, Gulf War veteran to retire after 94 years of service. I mentioned this in the early lobby chat, but before everyone jumped in on it. But I'm gonna mention it again because, I mean, how many guns do we know that have served the United States military that have served consecutively for 94 years? We don't know that many guns that have, or it's not.
1911, right?
Well, 1911 is one of them, but this one,
Ma Deuce.
No, it's a Browning M2 machine gun number 324.
That's Ma Deuce. M2 means Ma Deuce. That's
Ma Deuce. Okay. I don't know that designation.
He doesn't know the slang.
You shut up. But yes, I don't know the slang, but it's served since 1921.
Well, Browning invented it, right? So
Browning invented it.
So the 1911 was Browning too, right? So
he was Browning, yes.
So
well,
all that one guy.
All I gotta say about this is you don't mess with perfection.
Yeah, but at the same time, are we going to replace it with a newer M2, or is it just we're getting rid of the M2s in general?
Hopefully we don't get rid of them. They serve us for 94 years. I'm pretty sure we're going to still use them.
I think we got our money's worth out of that one, I'll tell you that.
The Mustang fighter propeller fighter had 6 50 caliber M2s mounted in it. So
what are we replacing it with? That's what I want to know.
An M3, I guess,
I mean, they've said looking at the receiver for its age, it looks good. It looks good as new, and it gauges better than most of the other weapons they have. Said John Clark, a small arms repair leader. I guess serving in the military. Despite the fact the weapon still meets most specifications, it may be destined for the scrapyard. And I really hope they don't scrap it. It would be much better suited in a military museum of some sorts, or
my backyard.
One of those things where you hope they sell it to the public, but
no, you don't have to sell it to public. No. Donate it to the Smithsonian or something, saying, this is.
How many of those does the military have? Like 100,000?
Yeah,
they have 100,000 of those.
Yeah.
Put one in my backyard.
Obama
Just make it semi-auto.
Obama will melt them all down or something stupid.
No.
Yeah, he will, because he's a spiteful asshole like that.
Well, his term is about to be over, so.
Thank God.
One thing about
How many more months do we have? Shit.
Yes, definitely.
We have another year.
Oh God.
Yeah, unfortunately.
One thing, Hawaii, about that nuclear torpedo too, it has a range of 6,200 miles.
Yep, they could launch it from anywhere.
Yep, and the whole reason Putin made it was because of his concerns of the United States and NATO's anti-missile system, where basically we send up like small nukes and detonate them in the air, like at high altitudes, to take out other incoming nukes. So
yeah,
that's the whole reason they designed this torpedo.
That's his excuse. America left the anti-ballistic missile treaty, so it gives him an excuse to do whatever he wants. So he doesn't need an excuse. So he can.
Yeah, he didn't need an excuse to send troops into the Ukraine.
He could say he made that missile because the European Union banned the Russian sports. It's all a conspiracy because they fixed the test for testing for steroids or something. I mean,
why can't he see the consequences of this? I don't get it. It's like a kid with a big imagination. That's good, but look at the consequence, You're a grown man. You should know how terrible this is.
The problem is whether Putin is or isn't now.
There is no consequence while Obama is president, because Obama will never, ever,
He will never act.
nuke anybody. You know.
Obama won't do shit. He won't attack anyone, nor will he defend anyone really. But here's the thing about Putin. Okay, he's an ex-KGB agent. Okay, he was stationed as like the regional guy in charge of the KGB. You know, overseeing the German Stasi in East Germany during the Cold War.
You're gonna make me pull out the Putin. I have his KGB card picture photo somewhere. Go ahead.
If you want to, go ahead. But the thing is, he's KGB, and you're going to tell me because he was former KGB that he is not communist anymore, that he is just Russian Federation through and through, and then he's doing everything in the best interest of the Russian Federation with no communist influence at all. You're lying, because
he has a small fortune, in foreign overseas bank accounts.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing he's corrupt as all hell. But I'm telling you right now that regardless of whether or not Russia is the Russian Federation or the Soviet Union, the fact is that you don't get to be in a leadership position in the KGB and not be a communist who believes in communism. There is no fucking way in any part of the Soviet Union that happens.
Well, this is a good screen share. Check this one out. Red lines.
What does that say? Snowden?
Yeah, I guess Snowden. Iran nukes, Syria, Snowden, gay rights, political donations, Putin agenda, and now you're really going to make me angry.
You shouldn't even cross the first line.
Yeah. Well,
but as I said, you can't be a KGB agent and not be a believer in communism. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. They were literally, and this is bad to say, but it's true. They were literally brainwashed to believe that communism was the only way. And they brainwashed people too. That's how the KGB worked. So, I don't believe
I'm not an expert on the KGB.
Well, I've read a lot of stuff about.
Yeah, I'm not Russian.
But he's not doing things in the best interest of the Russian Federation. He's doing things in the best interest of himself because he's now a corrupt politician, and second, because I guess he's trying to get the bandwagon back together.
Well,
you don't know. Some of those Russians are crazy, and the problem is all the guys in charge of Russia right now in leadership positions are still the old guard that were born, either in the 50s or the 60s, and they're in charge of Russia now. Okay? But they were born and they grew up during the Cold War. Until you have people in charge of Russia that haven't lived in the Cold War, then you might get something done, and they may become a productive and a good country instead of a bad country. But you have to get rid of all those people that were communists because the influence is still there.
He couldn't just gotten that position from nowhere, right? People gave it to him.
Not the people, but probably the people in power gave it to him.
Yeah, so that means it's really more than just him.
Well, that's why I'm saying the leadership in Russia. I'm not saying I'm saying on the broader term, not just him in general, but he is a major part because he's the guy, he's the face guy, more or less.
Well, he's the face that we see.
He's the face that everyone sees.
He could be, there could be somebody even more powerful that we don't know that he's actually covering for.
Yankee
that would
Marshall.
be even scarier. That would be even scarier.
Well, Yankee Marshall is a liberal, so I wouldn't.
No, he's not a liberal. He's like way past the Green Party. He was actually. Yesterday I read out the Green Party, the United Kingdom Green Party statement on how all they have to do is make peace and everything will work out. And Oh God, he was even left to them. So he's left to Bernie Sanders.
Can we say he's his own?
Wow.
Can we? Is it safe to say Yankee is his own party?
The Yankee Marshall Party. There we go.
The Yankee
Ah.
Party.
Where we take liberalism to a whole new extreme.
With an open mind and hearts and candy shaped candy. Heart shaped candy.
And sentient Glocks, right? We got to throw in the sentient Glocks.
I don't know if Yankee is for pro or anti Glock, but
He is pro Glock. I think he said he was pro Glock.
He's full of Glock, and we'll just leave it at that.
all right. Next topic.
Anyways.
Apples?
Yeah, Dead Horse, is there anything you'd like to talk about? Since you're in here, I mean, we have you here on the panel.
Have you guys ever heard of War Plan Red?
No, I haven't. Please, tell us.
War Plan Red was a secret 1930s military operation where we built 3 secret bases on the Canadian border with plans of invasion of Canada. And we were going to, if we expected a war with Britain back in the 1930s, and if we did go to war with Britain, we expected to be actually invaded by them. And so our plan was in the 1930s and 40s and 50s is if we got invaded by Britain, that we were going to take over Canada, and that would force peace talks with Britain. And so that was our plan on kind of getting rid of Britain was, we would just go take over Canada because we considered Canada defenseless. And that was actually leaked. Some of it was leaked, like where the military bases were and stuff. And it became unclassified in 1974, the whole war plan operation. But what also became unclassified in 1974 is that if that plan was ever implemented, we intended to actually keep control of Canada and make it part of the United States. So
that doesn't sound very American-like.
Well, no, but at the same time,
we're gonna hold him hostage.
The civilians might have liked it better because they would have had better gun laws.
But I'm actually still for that plan. So
you want to hold Canada as hostages? Oh man!
No,
we're coming for your moose.
We're coming for you.
Well, we were.
Hey! Moose kill more people than bears.
Yeah.
The plan was to take over the intricacies of the plan was to take over Canada, to remove their government they had in place, to put our own government in place.
I think
and
that
then
a lot
after
of Canadians would can we just call them cans? They would
Canadians would look at us as the bad guys. That's not right. We're good guys.
No, because if we took Canada, they would cease to be Canada and be part of the United States. They'd be America.
They'd be like Comerica or something?
No, we're not going there.
No, they'd be Americans.
What were you saying about Canada?
Well, if that was to actually, take place, we were going to put in our own government, and that was going to force peace talks with Britain and get Britain to basically leave our shores and stop the invasion, right, to stop the war because Britain and Canada were so friendly. But as soon as we got Britain to leave, then we were going to take full control of Canada, annex it from the United Kingdom, and actually make it part of the United States.
Make it a state.
Yes, and back then I think it was going to be like the 49th state is what the plan was. Because I don't
fell apart after we invented the Tommy gun, and Al Capone scared them away.
That was before Hawaii, right?
Yeah, 1930s is when the plan was really originally drawn up. But this plan stayed in effect until 1974. It was on the books.
Really?
Sounds like it was drawn up in a.
Oh my God!
It might have been a think plan. A think tank plan.
Well, we actually built 3 secret military bases on the border of Canada for this operation, though. Well, so that's the thing. It wasn't completely just, So
instead of terrorists, you would have to.
So we were actually not saying it. We were actually putting it into plan and doing action about it.
Well,
Until they-
preparing.
Actually serious.
Until we
Preparing.
have up-armored moose with bombs strapped
Or,
on them.
or worse, armed Mounties.
I was thinking about
Well,
making
Mounties are
syrup
just
bombs
cops.
myself.
But armed Mounties attacking the border, that is something we need to watch out for.
Are these 3 places still accessible, or are they like still in works?
No, as far as I know, is in 1974 is when they got shut down, because that's when
But
they
are they
officially.
still physically there?
I have no clue if they're still physically there.
Well, big good bomb shelter.
Well, I couldn't find my Putin photograph, so I could find with this moose. So
But well, you found a good moose there. Is that one you shot, or is that one that you went hunting
that's just
for?
a picture. That's just a picture I found somewhere.
Oh.
I don't.
Look at him,
I'm
he's all
trying to
happy
find
and
my.
shit.
I'm trying to find my Putin picture, and I have no idea.
That's like that moose looks like the opposite, like the bear that waves and smiles at you. You know, that looks like that kind of moose.
You have bears wave and smile at you.
Yeah, you never seen that video? The bear sitting on there just waving at you.
No, I saw a cat video the other day watching TV, but
Yeah.
one of my subscribers.
But yeah, you know, if we have so many secret places built, I think I might have an idea where to put those Syrians.
And then going back kind of towards what Night Strike was talking earlier about, you know, like the hunt for Red October, that actually became a real thing this year. There was a Mercedes-Benz photo shoot for a GL 450, I think, a new Mercedes-Benz SUV, and they accidentally caught footage while filming like pictures of this Mercedes-Benz like on the beach and stuff of a secret Russian submarine called a Losharik. I'm not sure how you actually pronounce it, and like a Losharik submarine that was believed to be developed back in like the early 90s. Nuclear submarine with titanium hull, can travel to depths of 20,000 feet, has been completely top secret, and apparently our own military, our own CIA and stuff, has never been able to actually capture a picture of one. So Mercedes-Benz was like the first one to actually like capture a picture of this damn thing.
Awesome. Is this the picture you were talking about?
Well, I have a different picture, but no, I have a different one.
This is one of Putin's KGB pictures. You can tell because it's got the Soviet sickle and hammer on there. And that's him in his KGB days. Figure that one out. Why would you save something like that? Why would you save something like that? Why would something like this be, you know...
So he could auction it off on eBay for like $1 million.
Probably. You know...
He looks like a nerd.
Yeah. Well, this is one. This is one of his younger ones, but there's a later one from the East German time, and you can actually tell it's Putin. So, anyways, I'll try and find that one.
I have a picture of it somewhere, but I can't find anything in my download folder. There's too much shit in there.
So can we just like free Tibet already?
From the Chinese? No, free Tibet. Tibet will never be freed because you have to get the Chinese to say, okay, we'll leave. And they'll never leave.
Not even for a little piece of candy?
No.
They have to protect the Chinese that are in Tibet. So.
Yeah, but you know the Tibetan government is actually in exile in India. They're actually still in India. So, yeah, how can you be a government of a country and be in it? And I don't realize this.
They do that in the Middle East forever.
Yeah. No shit. But anyways,
wait, if they're not in control of it, but they're there, does that make them a vassal?
No.
No, a vassal goes back to serfs and barons and fiefdoms and stuff like that. Serfdoms, that's an economic system.
Like make them like, you know, you're an ally to us, but we're still controlling you or something like that?
No, you work the land to grow crops, but the baron owns the land and taxes you, and you don't basically get to keep anything that you work for. It makes you a vassal. It's kind of like we're vassals
So they're
of
not doing that?
the government. Well, who are you talking about?
China.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and defend the Chinese economic system, but
You shouldn't defend China
somebody
at
did
all.
send me a free knife from China, and I did a review on it because I said, "Yeah, send me a knife, I'll review it for you." And I think it's the same people that actually used to make. I think the knife used to be like the uh, fake SA3s. It's basically an SA3, and they used to type SA3 and sell it as counterfeit goods, or somebody did, but now they're selling it
Ew.
as their own, and it's like an SA3 except it's not. So an SA. So, but now it doesn't say SA on it. Now it's just an exact copy of an SA with a Chinese steel instead of 1095 steel. So whatever. They sent me a knife. I did a review. Whatever. That's about as far as it went.
Did
We
you
would
send it
like
back?
it back, please.
No, I kept it. It was a $22 knife, so whatever.
Really? They sent it to you? You didn't buy it?
Nope, I didn't buy it. They sent it to me for free.
Wow. Send it back.
Send it back.
Yeah.
The postage would cost more than the knife. I mean,
Yeah, because it's Hawaii.
Well, no, because it's sending something to China, sending a knife to China. It had to clear customs. So it cleared customs as I forgot what they called it, but it had to have a customs approval, whatever tracking thing, just for a knife.
Can you get? Is it under warranty to where you can refund
No.
it and get money?
It's a good knife. It's an SA3. It's a great knife. It's just not real SA3 because it's not out of 1095.
So it holds up. It holds its weight.
It kept its edge. I made a bunch of tinder dust and then tested it, and it kept its edge. And it's going to be a bit more rust proof because it's not high carbon steel. It's
not 440.
No, it's shit. I have to go look what it is. It's like 7 CR. It's set would mean 7 chrome and it's 0.17 molybdenum and vanadium. So which kind of makes it a little tougher. But they got the heat treat right. Otherwise, it would not have held its edge. I just basically beat it up on some wood and see, and just to test if it would hold its edge because I don't have a metallurgy factory in my condo. So it held its edge. I carved a bunch of tinder dust out of some dead wood.
All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to mention before we call it? Anyone want to go over anything before I call it?
I don't like martial law.
No one likes martial law. I guess I'll just end with this. We just need to make sure that no one tries to take away our guns or our constitutional rights, because once our rights are taken, they will never be given back. Once a right has been taken, even more rights will be taken, and we will be left with nothing. All right. I want to thank Dead Horse for participating in our panel. I want to thank Hawaii Volcano Squad, Lieutenant Nguyen, and No Scope for not saying anything during the entire conversation.
I'm telling you, man, he's a spy. He's
a
anonymous.
Russian spy. He's a Russian
he's
spy.
anonymous. He's anonymous.
No, he's not anonymous.
Oh, wait a minute. I got this.
Just being creepy.
There he is.
I got
that guy out of your window.
You got one more thing you want to talk about?
No, I just got one more screen share. Here's
Okay.
Putin at a barbecue with Medvedev or whatever. That's Putin's house.
Yeah, he's wearing a shirt. It's totally his house.
That's an American burger.
Actually, that shirt he's wearing is actually one of Putin's shirts. He didn't have any clean clothes from the sleepover the night before.
Well, how come it says barbecue in English and not in Russian?
Exactly, and that's an American
because
burger.
It's popular. All right. Anyways, Remember, the views expressed on this panel are that of their own and not the views of gunchannels.com or anywhere
or
else.
the King of England.
Or the King of England, no.
Some of us might be drunk.
Yeah, some of us may be drunk, so don't take anything we say for, legal advice.
Unless it's your values that you agree with it.
And
Don't
some
take
of us
any of
just
this-
might be patriots.
Don't take any of this for legal advice, because if you do, I will drive Hawaii Volcano Squad to the courthouse and he will testify against you. No, normally I'd say Hawkeye 4, but he didn't attend
You're gonna
tonight.
drive.
So
You're gonna pick me up at. You can't drive from Hawaii to the mainland, dude.
we'll have the court case there. Okay?
Well, we do have cars that can convert to boats,
Yeah, I'll get one of those Russian or those old American, or German cars that you can use as boats. So I will drive you. But yeah, thank you for listening. This was Hit or Miss.